Hi, this is Rick Mortimer from Seaside Paranormal, and you're listening to the Devil You Know podcast.
What's up, everybody?
Hey.
What's up?
80.
Yeah, man.
We're at 80 episodes, man.
Feels good.
My mic stand is falling apart in front of me. 80 episodes, my mic stand has lasted. And in case you haven't seen it, it's 2 styrofoam cups taped together. That's my fucking mic stand.
Are you serious?
It's not even styrofoam, it's paper. It's paper cups, yeah.
That's awesome.
I'm missing the ring to mount this actually to an actual mic stand. So I'm gonna post a picture in a little while here, but it's terrible.
I've got some extra shit. You need me to send you something?
I don't know what I need, man. How you guys doing? What's going on?
No, I'm pretty good, man. How about you, Adam?
I'm doing great.
Nice.
Yeah, good to be here with you guys.
Heck yeah.
It is good to be here with us, isn't it?
That's right.
Always. Our lush studio.
You know, we're kind of laxed in our duties as the hosts to mess with the assistant. We haven't done anything to mess with you. Nothing. We should post a picture of us holding up his head, and see if we can fire ourselves from our own show then. That's fine. What's up with that crap?
I don't know.
I don't want to talk about it. That's a circle of jerks. Yeah. But I know when we go to video, because we're talking about going to video, I know that the only thing, to mess with Adam, we're going to have to make his frame of his head smaller than ours.
And the shaft, too.
Yeah. That's funny. We got an interesting show, so let's get on it.
Yeah, it's going to be spooky.
Dun, dun, dun.
All right, John, so for episode 80, I only got one question for you.
What is that, sir?
Who you going to call?
Adam, so you could tell us who's on next. Who do we got, Adam?
All right.
I got it. You had mentioned that you wanted to speak to a paranormal investigator a couple weeks ago. So I've been doing some research, and I've reached out to a bunch of different paranormal investigation groups. I found that about 80% of them were flakes. 10% of them couldn't articulate words. 9% of them freaked out because we were associated with the Church of Satan. And 1% I found, and he's articulate, and he's got some cool stories, and he seems like a really cool guy. So we have Rick Mortimer with Santa Cruz Seaside Paranormal.
Nice.
Howdy.
How you doing?
What's happening, man?
Good.
Nice.
All right.
Yeah. Well, like I was telling him, we do this for real. We don't get paid to be doing this kind of stuff. We don't do it like we see on TV, where these guys have to have found something because they got to get paid.
Yeah.
Right.
And what we
gotta
do,
make a TV show.
So you're like the Warrens.
If you don't show something for the TV show, you're not going to get your money. Nobody's going to watch. We don't do that. Everything we do is the real thing.
So then does it, when it comes to TV shows, like there's so many of them, does it kind of drive you nuts every time a new one comes on? You're like, oh, there's more people that are going to make us look stupid?
Well, there's a couple of them that are okay. The first guys that start, I call them the Three Stooges, because every time they found something, they freak out. And I go,
yeah.
I'm going like, isn't that what you came for? Why are you freaking out? You're here to get these, to capture spirits on film and voice. And they freak out. And it's like, okay, enough is enough of you guys. So,
yeah, I know. You talk about the guy who looks like he ran backwards.
Yeah, I don't want to give out names because they know who I am. I get calls from people saying they're running out of shows. Can you tell us where to go? And I say, well, yeah, I can tell you where to go, but you're probably not going to like it.
Yeah.
But Yeah. So what we do is see what I am. I'm a skeptic about the ghost hunting and ghosts and things like that. I don't just believe what you tell me. I need to see it, and I need to hear it, and I need to be having it proved to me. And so that's what we do. We prove it to me and to everybody else that these things are really happening. This is real stuff.
So can you give us an example of a real hairy story?
We got a million hairy stories.
Let's hear a few of them. That'd be great.
Huh?
I said, let's hear a few of them. That'd be great.
Okay. Well, for example, one of our first investigations was the Point Sur Lighthouse down in Big Sur.
Okay.
And
Nice.
I should have popped up some of these recordings for you, but as we did the lighthouse out there, we got voices from all over that lighthouse. I mean, they seem to be happy to talk to us. So we were told by the docent there that the spirits come out at 6 o'clock and they go to bed at 10.
Yeah, because they're older, you know.
Yeah, I guess, but they. So we were investigating, and we got a lot of stuff. We got one voice that sounds like she was in from a different a foreign language.
Okay.
Yeah, and I should probably try to pop one of these voices up for you guys.
So were they saying complete sentences or fragments or even words?
Oh no, we've had. She was I should have been prepared more for this. But I sent them to the podcast email.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
So if you can pop that up, you'll find the voices that I sent you. I got a lot of them I sent you guys. So anyway, we got that, and we also at the end of the night we worked our way up to the final building, which was the lighthouse keeper's house. And as we were talking, we heard somebody go shh, and then you heard a mother and a daughter going night, night, night.
Was there any birds around?
Is there any what?
Were there any birds around? Because some birds can talk.
No. Yeah. No, this was I heard the shh, but we didn't hear the night, night, night until we went back over our recordings. A lot of times you don't. Damn it. A lot of times you don't hear this stuff with your own naked ear.
Yeah.
So that's why we use a lot of recordings, and that's you go back over your recordings later and go, wow, did you hear that? We had a voice. We got captured a voice.
Are you able to look at the email you sent Adam and click on the links there yourself and have a serum?
Yeah, that might be a good idea. Okay, let me do that.
That's all I have is good ideas.
I'm in my Devil You Know email and I don't have anything. I'm sorry, guys.
Okay, I got it here. Let's see. Let's see. Little girl points to her lighthouse. Okay, let's see if this is it.
Just crank that mother.
Yeah, come on now. Open up. Why aren't you opening it up? Oh, here we go. Okay, this is the Point Sur Lighthouse.
Shit.
Did someone say shit? Oh, if you're playing it, I can't hear it.
You can't hear it?
No.
So you don't hear that?
I don't hear anything. No. Can you put it closer to the microphone, or?
Yeah, let's try this.
Let's wait for Dorian to come back before you play, though.
Okay.
He should be back in a second.
So you do most of your business through Facebook, correct, Rick?
Yeah, Facebook. There's a Seaside Paranormal on Facebook.
Okay, so if John were to look up Seaside Paranormal,
I don't think we're gonna get these short little clips that I made because most of the stuff I put on there is the whole. We had a TV show for years, so what you'll see on my Facebook page is a whole episode. In other words, half an hour shows, TV shows.
Do you have the time of where the spot is? I can go to it.
No, because what I'm listening to right now is a clip that I created.
Oh, okay.
I'm on Seaside Paranormal Facebook right now, and I'm looking at clips.
Let's see if you hear this.
Okay.
Late for the spirits. You hear that?
Yeah.
Now
you have. I've noticed on Facebook, Rick, you've got extremely, extremely white hair. Is that because you've seen a ghost?
That's funny. They call me Q-Tip. And the reason they call me that was a surfer name I got, because when I put on my black wetsuit, they could spot me a mile away. So, who is that guy? And they say, that's Q-Tip.
Nice.
Now, my hair went white when I was 40.
Oh, wow.
So,
I see a bunch of clips on here on Facebook and stuff, but they're like, 50 minutes long, 40, 30.
That's what I'm saying. They're not. I didn't put any of these short clips on Facebook.
Oh, okay.
So,
that would be a way for us to get it on the show.
Is this working? I mean, did any of you hear this? Let me turn it back. Let me start it again. Tell me if you hear this. Now, did you hear that?
Yeah.
No, I didn't hear anything.
I heard kids.
Yeah.
You hear Willow. You hear my daughter in the background.
Oh, but you didn't hear. Well, you should have been hearing this recording. So let me try to, because if you can hear me, you should be able to hear this.
Okay.
Okay. Now this is the lighthouse, and we're investigating. We're talking, and all of a sudden I hear this shh, and so I say, "Did anybody hear this shush?" And then you're gonna hear this two people saying "night night." So let me try this again.
Are we on?
No, I'm not hearing anything.
I'm not hearing anything either.
You're not hearing nothing.
No, why don't
No.
can you try to send those links to his email so we can get those on?
Yeah. Let me resend that email.
Do you find it odd that, when people say they saw Bigfoot, they got a picture of him, and it's just blurry all the heck and pixely, so it just looks like a tree, or, and when we're trying to hear, like, recordings, we can't find the email. We can't, we can't hear the recording. I'm just being a dick. Don't worry.
Yeah. Well, let me do this, because right now I'm gonna forward this over to Adam's actual email.
All right.
Why do all ghost women only wear white gowns?
Isn't that funny? I don't know.
Anyone? You ever seen a ghost in acid wash jeans from the 80s?
No, or tie dye.
Yeah, D. Snyder.
Let's see. AdamRobertsLive.com.
Why don't you send it over to John, because he's got the soundboard.
Okay, John. What's his email?
Let's do the. Let me think what email to use, because I want to access it from this certain computer so that we can hear it.
Okay, it's being sent.
All right. Is it just one?
No, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 attachments.
All right.
So now, do you chalk this up to residual haunting?
Well, here's the whole thing: is you've got residual and you have intelligent. So we do have a lot of residual recordings, which would be this one here that you'll hear, because you can't communicate with this. It's a sound that keeps on looping.
Yeah, that's so. I mean, we could possibly say that there's some kind of imprint that we don't necessarily have to refer to as supernatural, then, right?
Yeah, it's almost as if...
Or it's like it's something natural that we just don't explain how it works.
We just don't know how it works. But I kind of think of the same kind of theory as the stars that shine at us. And
right.
even though we see their light, they probably might have...
Yeah, they've been gone a long time.
Gone a long time, but we keep on seeing the light. They might have been gone for 1 million years, and we still see them. Right. And so when we have the residual, we can't communicate, but we have the intelligent that actually communicate.
Yeah.
And yeah, so what we do is...
Which is a whole other thing, of course.
It's a whole different thing. Now you're talking to somebody who's actually hearing you. So you'll see on one, if this email comes through, you'll see what we do at every beginning of every investigation is we ask him, can you return this? And we go, and we always get the knockback.
Now,
really?
You know what I mean? We always get a knockback. We always get a knockback.
What do you chalk that up to? Like, do you think that every single person that dies is trapped in a ghost world?
No, because almost everybody that we've communicated with that in the intelligent end of things has committed suicide, was murdered. Well, we knew it was getting kind of late for the spirits, which sounds kind of...
Sorry.
Okay,
Did you hear that? You guys heard that?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So I got them. I'm all set to be able to hear it. So what I'm going to do so I can hear it is I got to hit this button on my mixing board where I can't hear you guys. I'm listening to this solo. So hopefully we don't say anything during it, you know?
Okay.
All right. How long is it? Let me see here.
It's about
57 seconds. No problem. Okay, ready, guys? This is the Point Sir Night.
Yeah. Well, we knew it was getting kind of late for the spirits, which sounds kind of funny, but they do say they kind of sound like they go to bed at about 9:30. They're still keeping their old lighthouse keeper's time, and they let us know. Maybe you can call to it, Elaine. They don't like me.
I don't know, did the English also live there, right?
I imagine they were probably in the track club.
Could somebody just go shh?
I imagine they were probably in the track club.
Could somebody just...
I imagine they were probably in the track club.
Huh.
Yeah.
Now, how many people are there with you?
There was 4 of us there. There was one of the docents and the us three investigators.
Gotcha.
Did you hear the night?
I heard something.
Something.
Yeah.
I mean, I heard a sound that went, I don't know.
You hear the shh, and then you hear it's actually what they call a Class A recording was night.
Mm-hmm.
In most investigations, that's a Class A. Even the Three Stooges would pat me on the back for that one.
I'm still skeptical. So what else you got?
Okay. Well, so now we go to let's stick with the Point Sir Lighthouse for a second. Let's try the next one, which is let's see. I'm not too sure which one this one is. Let's listen to it and see what it is.
I see stomping and little girl playing.
Do you see any more Point Sirs?
In the email?
Yeah, there should be 5 of them.
Oh, Lighthouse Foreign Voice and Lighthouse Knock.
Yeah, so this is the foreign voice. We nobody knows how to speak this language. So here we go.
Ooh, okay. Let me all right, let me play this right now.
Kind of like old tours. Used to have a bunch of these. Kind of like old tours. Used to have a bunch of these.
So you hear that dentier whatever that is?
That's Chinese. It's Mandarin.
Is it really?
No, I don't know. I'm just... somebody ordered an orange chicken.
They said there was a Dutch family that did the lighthouse, and I'm thinking it's Dutch. I have no idea what it is. I don't know what it's. I don't know what they're saying.
Oh, so we need to kind of get our network out there and see if we can find anyone.
Saying, yeah. I'd be curious to know what the hell she was saying. I have no idea.
Duschkenschlagen.
Now here's the other one. If you go to the last lighthouse, you'll see where we did the knock, and you'll see what happens.
Lighthouse Knock. Okay, here we go.
Try that again. Can you return my knock? You know that how the knock goes. Did you hear that?
Somebody goes downstairs.
Huh?
I think it goes downstairs. Had to be. Lenny, did you do that?
Lenny, did you just return my knock?
Holy crap.
Wow. That was a great knock. Thank you.
Holy crap.
So I don't think you heard that knock, huh?
What was his name? Lenny, you said?
Yeah, that's Lenny downstairs.
What if Lenny was kidding with you and just playing around?
No. Because if you actually hear the knock, it sounds like two. Remember those toys we had? Tinker. Those things you used to build log cabins with. It sounded like it was somebody knocking with that.
Lincoln Logs.
Lincoln Logs.
If you try just stopping it after I go, can you return the knock? You'll hear it for a second and then stop it there. Maybe try it again.
Okay.
Try that again. Can you return my knock? You know that's how the knock goes. Too much interference, but I think I recorded that too loud. But they knocked back like it was Tinker Toys. Those things they build log cabins with. It was pretty cool knock.
I just looked at Lenny's Facebook page and it says he loves Lincoln Logs. So.
Oh yeah.
It might.
But the other one we have here, the stomping. Now this was incredible. This was the most. There's a casino in Lake Tahoe called the Calneva.
Okay.
I don't know if anybody's familiar with that. It used to belong to Frank Sinatra.
Wow.
Oh wow.
And so we got a call from the general manager of the place, and they said their managers are getting chased out of here by people saying "get out," and they don't know who they are. So can you come up and check it out for us? So it's kind of a derelict casino. It used to be really cool back in the 50s, but it's pretty much derelict now. So we went up there, and we had the place to ourselves. So we set up our cameras in the showroom. We set them up everywhere, and down below was the tunnels that were created by the mafia, and they went from Frank's room from Frank's cabin to Marilyn's cabin.
Of course.
And yeah, of course. And then they went all through the casino, and they went across the street to the other casinos. They were just this whole network of tunnels that the FBI, when they finally closed down Frank's place, they closed down those tunnels, and they left one tunnel open. And there's a set of stairs at the beginning of that tunnel, and they call those Marilyn stairs because they believe they have photographs from Marilyn at the bottom of the stairs. So this is us at the bottom of the stairs when all of a sudden we hear this. Now there's nobody in the casino but a cop. I mean, whatever, a cop.
Yeah.
And the girl at the front desk. So if we play the stomping, this is not fake, guys. Listen to this.
Right where.
Jesus Christ.
What's that?
Who's banging? Let's find out.
Okay, I'm creeped out.
What's in progress?
Jesus.
Yeah. It gets better.
Someone's dancing. Kids.
Nobody was doing any renovating at that time, were they?
Listen to that.
Shut up!
What the fuck? Heck. Sorry.
She
Somebody
does swear.
said the F word.
Yeah, she does. She gets embarrassed when she swears. But did you hear that? Now that's above their heads, and there's nobody up there. Absolutely nobody up there.
Was it settling? Was the casino still settling?
Well, it was snowing pretty hard that night.
Well, maybe the pipes were frozen. You know how you get that knock on the East
somebody was
Coast?
flushing the damn toilet.
Or maybe someone snuck in because it was cold out in the snow.
Well,
and they stomped their boots off. Good. Yep. Solved.
Yeah, just stomped them. We actually ran upstairs to find out if there was anybody up there, and there's nobody up there. In the video on my TV show, you'll see upstairs was it's called the Indian Room. There's a Christmas tree right above where we are, and if you were to be where the stomping was, you would have to go through a wall which is made out of rock. It's a big rock wall. So they would have to go through that rock wall to get to where we're the stomping above us. It was there was nobody there. Believe me, there was nobody there. I'm not a TV guy. I'm a investigator. Nobody upstairs, but that was going on.
You don't think Frank maybe walled somebody in and he's trying to get out? Or?
Well, right.
It's the mob we're talking about.
That's why that stone wall is there, huh?
You know, when we did the investigation there, they told us a lot of stuff about what was going on. They actually said, don't put this on your TV show because these mafia people have kids.
Ooh.
So put it on our show. That's great.
Put it on your show.
So somebody was walled up and banging for help, and you guys just chalked it up to ghosts.
That's what it was. Oh, sorry. Oh, you're trying to get out. Oh,
what you need to do is take me and Dorian with you, so that we can report from the field. And
we actually did an investigation at this thing called a boat called the Hornet. And they asked, "You're not going to put this on some kind of podcast, are you?"
We're not just some kind of podcast.
Yeah. Speaking of haunted places, that ship was majorly haunted. Called the Hornet. It was a big aircraft carrier that actually kind of say they won the war in the Pacific. And we had coins thrown at us through the wall that landed in the middle of the room. We ended up with about 8 or 9 coins that were not there to begin with, and after when we left, there was 8 coins thrown from us from the wall.
Were they valuable?
No, I looked at them. I was hoping they would be, because I was hoping they'd be from World War II.
Yeah.
They actually turned out to be from the Coke machine upstairs. Yeah.
Huh.
You know, I can't explain a lot of this stuff. But I will tell you. Go ahead.
We were talking earlier when we were trying to figure out the emails up. We were talking a little bit about the difference between the residual and the intelligent, and we touched on the intelligent being, obviously somebody talking back to you. If that is like you kind of mentioned, victims of suicide or whatever, is that? Do you believe then that all people have souls and that the ones that aren't haunting are going somewhere else, or?
Well, what we kind of believe in, and even science has shown that when we die, we lose a couple grams, not ounces, but grams. Our weight we lose weight. We lose a little bit of weight. Something leaves us.
Great.
And our
most people say that you get heavier, dead weight.
Oh, well, yeah, I guess if you're.
I know what you mean. Yeah.
But we actually it's proven that we actually lose a little bit of weight, and we have recordings of what we call orbs, which we believe is the spirit form. Once we leave our body, we believe we become this spirit form. And I have videos of orbs following me from one room to another, and so there's something round, and I have it all. It's all recorded, following me around. This thing is
there's lots of footage of orbs though, and a lot of times you can chalk that up to dust and air currents.
Oh no, exactly that. There's a big difference between dust and orbs. I've got lots of videos of orbs, and I know what dust is. Dust will flow with the flow of the air in the room. So wherever the air is going, the dust will follow that flow. Orbs have a mind of their own. They do their own little thing. They go here, then they turn around, they come back, they go straight up, they go down, they go all over the place. Now this particular one, unfortunately it's a video, and we're not doing video here, was at a castle in a place called Pacifica. And this orb came down the table that I was walking down, and then I went into another room, and it turned and it followed me into another room. It had intelligence.
See, I see orbs sometimes in my house, but that's just because my glasses are cheap.
Well, you got to get very nice. You got to get Dr. Dean Adele.
So you mean like Close Encounters of the Third Kind?
Well, sort of.
Just
like
smaller.
It's kind of like that, a little smaller, yeah, and not without the big ears and stuff, or the finger. But We have.
So then, do you believe in like a heaven and hell then, sort of thing, or
no, I don't.
Kinda...
No. I personally no, I don't believe that. I'm sorry that's people believe in that stuff. No,
we are too. We don't believe in that crap.
No, absolutely not. But we do believe that when we die, this is just a body. This body's like a car that we jump in and we drive it around all over the place until the car breaks down and dies, and we get out of it.
I need new tires.
New tires. Yeah, we do that kind of shit to ourselves. We try to fix our tire around our belly and all that kind of stuff. But eventually we die, and we believe that we go back to the source of all things. But there's people who don't seem to make it there. I don't know why, but that's what we're trying to find out. We're kind of like the frontiers of trying to find out what happens after death. What the hell happens after death? All these religions are built around what happens after death. Well, the only way to find out is to actually talk to somebody who's on the other side.
Ours concentrates on what happens after life.
What happens after life?
Yeah.
I personally, I don't believe that life ever ends.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So now, for example,
doesn't that cheapen life though? If life never ends, that kind of makes it cheap, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's less sacred.
Well, I don't know what you mean by
it's not vital. Anything that is unending is cheap. If it's in great abundance, precious is rare.
Okay, so in other words, you lived and you died, and that was the end of that, and somebody's going to.
I'm just kind of saying, like, if I don't know, like, it just seems like an outlook that maybe makes life not as precious as it could be. Whereas, like, living for every moment now, because when you die, that's it, makes it very precious, makes it very urgent, and.
Well, that's our experience as a human being on this planet. Because when we're born, we just came from wherever we came from. I
came from my dad's pee-pee.
Yeah, well, I know. Yeah, but that little body's being created, but there's something in it that's running that little body, and that's what jumps into the body. That's what I believe. What I believe, anyways, is
formula.
Is we. Well, okay. Here's an example. We were in one room, and the girl, Lenny and Elaine, had closed the door, and we recorded a little boy saying, "Ooh, they closed the door." Well, he saw us close the door. How do you explain that? Yeah.
I can only explain it if I heard it. I was there.
Yeah, of course.
I didn't give you all the clips that we have because we have hundreds of them.
But like you said earlier in the show, you're a skeptic until you hear it and see it. I've got to be there on site, hear this thing, and then I'll chalk it up to something scientific.
Yeah, so that's where I'm at, because there's a lot of people who tell me stories, and especially being a paranormal investigator, people tell me their stories all the time.
Oh, I got something else.
There's a lot of people too that will hear a recording and they go, "Yeah, I don't hear anything," and then as soon as somebody says, "Oh, the voice is saying, please help me," then suddenly, "Oh yeah, of course I hear, please help me now." There's to a degree, there's got to be a little bit of finding what you want to find.
Well, yeah, because you listen to the two shows that they're on. I won't mention their names, but they will put out. They'll say, "It sounds like this," and the voice will go, and they go, "Hey, that sounds like 'Come on home, Mom.'"
Right.
What did it sound like?
Come on, you want to lay me?
Yeah, come on, I want to lay it.
And especially when they show the subtitle, then of course now you're at home. That's totally what he said.
Yeah, that's exactly what he said. No.
So I got to touch on something that you said earlier about the body when it dies losing a few grams. I watched a video about an explanation of that, or one guy's theory on that. It's the oxygen that leaves your body.
Oh, we also poop too.
Yeah, well then we're not talking in grams for me.
Okay, it could be pounds.
I rock the house, but
what you got you started in this?
Oh, what got me started?
Yeah.
Poop.
Well, I bought a house. I don't know if you know the area of California very well, but there's a
I've
little
heard
place.
of it.
Okay.
LA area.
It's over here on the West Coast. I bought a house in a little place called Emerald Hills, and I had to sign a waiver, believe it or not, that the house was haunted.
What?
Yeah.
Wow.
We actually had to sign a waiver saying we know we're buying a haunted house. So every time I play the piano, I'd look downstairs to my left, and I would see a guy leaning against the wall until I turned and looked at him. And so I thought, no big deal, and I don't believe in this ghost stuff. And then one day I was home alone, and I hear a voice going, "Hey, Rick," just like that. And I went, "Hey, I'll be out there up there in a minute." And I went upstairs, nobody there. Went outside, nobody there. Went out to the street, no cars, nobody there. I went, "Wow, we did buy a haunted house." Well, then my wife, after 24 years, died. And I was curious. I mean, I was just depressed and everything else, but I was also curious of where did she go? I just lost my wife at 24 years. Where the hell did she go? How do I find out what happened to my wife? So I talked to a couple of friends of mine, and I said, "What do you guys think about doing some paranormal investigations?" And they went, "Yes," right off the bat, "Yes." And so that's how we got started.
How long ago was that?
That was about 10 years ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So we've been doing it for quite a while. Yeah. So, and being a I don't know if you call me spiritual, whatever they call me. I study a lot about why the hell are we here and what's going on and what's our purpose on this planet and all that kind of stuff. And the way to get the answers to me, in my theory, is to find out what happens after you go. Can I talk to somebody who's on the other side? Can I communicate to somebody from the other side to tell me what the hell's going on?
Gotcha.
So, I mean, you hear you see this all the time on, Maury Povich and all these different shows and everything. Well, not maybe Maury Povich, but Oprah or whatever. But there's
you are the father.
Yeah, the father from the past. But more, they've had near-death experiences, or they've experienced what it means to die, and they all see this light. So we know that whoever's on the other side is paying their electric bill. But
right,
I just what is that?
Well, let me tell you something. I've 3 years ago I had a stroke. I had a major stroke. I managed to get myself out of it. It's a long story, but I saved myself. I'm fine. I can talk. I can walk. I can surf. I can do all kind of stuff. 3 months later, I had a heart attack, and I was laying on my couch with this major heart attack. My heart had collapsed on me, and I thought it was because of the drugs that I got earlier that night from the pharmacy for my stroke, and I thought I was just having a bad experience from that. So I laid on my couch for 24 hours. I had a heart attack for 24 hours. It took me about 2 months, and I started kind of meditating. I'm not a very good meditator, but I kind of meditated about the thought about what happened. What the hell happened to me during that heart attack? And I went back, and I saw myself pop out of my body. I actually saw myself pop out and look down at my body. And then it took a little while, probably another month later, till I get deeper into that whole thought of what the hell was I thinking? As I popped out, what was my thoughts? I didn't see Jesus. I didn't see God. I didn't see a white light. I didn't see anything. I was just very comfortable with the fact that I'm going away. My religion didn't count. Nothing counted. And I was actually, to tell you the truth, I was actually happy that I was by myself and nobody was all shaking me and bugging me. Yeah, but I didn't see any white light. I didn't see any of that stuff. But then I apparently popped back. I came back. But it was quite an experience. So I don't know.
Now, can I ask you? I don't want this to come across anything we say definitely not trying to offend or anything like that. But
no problem. Say whatever you want.
Well, just with I guess with tragedies that you've been through, both losing your wife and with the experiences you were just talking about going through yourself. What's the chance that there's a degree of you finding answers because you really want them to be answers.
Well, the strokes and stuff like that happened, just a couple of years ago. We've been investigating way before all that stuff. So the strokes and the heart attack had nothing to do with what we do. What I was just saying is my experience about almost dying and not seeing the light or anything like that. Ask me that question again.
It's just that, it seems like a lot of people, when they go through a tragedy, they don't know how to deal with it, and right. it's easier to deal with if you believe that they're in floating place with the clouds or something.
Right. It's very easy to say I believe. As I said before, I'm a skeptic. Yeah, I want to know. I want to see it on video. I want to see some proof. So I have about $20,000 worth of equipment here that we use when we go out investigating. Yeah. And I want to see. I need this stuff proven to me, just like you guys need it proven to you. You need to see it. You need to hear it. You need to,
Sure.
And same thing with me. I want to know this is real stuff that we're doing. It's not some kind of made up fiction. And so everything we do, this is what we get. This is what we get. This is all we get. This is what we get. We have no explanation, but these are the sounds, these are the videos, these are the voices we get.
Well, and I think that's what it is for me too, is because I've had a couple of unexplainable experiences before that, but that people will come up and say, oh well, here's what that means, and that just drives me nuts. Like, right. You don't know what that means, and I don't even know what state I was in at this point to say everything in my memory is accurate. So
right. So
it's tricky.
And so that's why we use the equipment, because the equipment doesn't lie. Cameras, voice recorders, EMF.
Well, it doesn't lie, but as we discussed earlier, it may not lie, but your perception of what it's saying may.
Yeah, so I can't say. Yeah, you and my sister get along great. But all I can say is this is what we got off the recording, and all of a sudden you hear this voice. Where the hell did that voice come from? Because it wasn't none of us. Or you look at the video, going, what the hell is that?
Have you ever felt threatened by a situation?
Well, okay. There was the Preston Castle, which is in a town called Ione in the Motherlode. And it's a huge castle. It's the weirdest castle because it was actually a boys' reformatory school. Back in 1909, I think it was built in 1906 or somewhere right around there.
That old chestnut.
Up until then, 5-year-olds were going to San Quentin and Folsom Prison. They didn't have any juvenile schools. So they built this place called the Preston Castle, which is actually a boys' reformatory school, but it's built just like a castle. It's 5 or 6 stories tall. It's very scary looking. It's abandoned. Windows. You look at this place, somebody's looking at you back. And so we went in there, and one of the girls was sitting in a chair, and she actually got pulled back about 4 feet in her chair. She's a pretty strong woman, but everybody's going, Robin, are you okay? And she didn't say a word. She was scared out of her brains.
Yeah. So
now we have this thing, and I don't like using it, but everybody else likes to use it. It's called a spirit box, and basically what it is, it's a FM scanner or AM scanner. It's a radio scanner that just scans stations. So it just and just goes back and forth. But
are you having a stroke?
Huh?
I was like, grab his tongue.
Yeah, grab his tongue. Can he smile? So that's what it does. But what happens is they can pick up this. Apparently, spirits can make sense out of all this. Blah, 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 blah. So they asked the guy. There was a lady had been murdered about 75 years earlier, named Ruth, in the castle. And so we set the girls downstairs, since we knew we'd separate the girls from the boys, because this was a boys' reformatory. We figured the girls are going to get attacked. We're not. So we sent the girls down to the basement, and they turned on their little spirit box, and they asked the question. They said, does anybody know who killed Ruth? And the voice kept coming back, Jim, Jim, Jim. So they figured, okay, a guy's name is Jim. So they asked the next question. They said, Jim, how long were you here incarcerated? About 28 months. Yeah, I heard that twice. About 28 months. So, Jim, who killed Ruth? Fuck you. Who the fuck cares? It's like, fuck you.
So Jim has Tourette's?
Jim had a little problem.
Ghost had an attitude.
He had an attitude. We caught him. Jim, you're the guy, right? Fuck you.
Fucking jerk.
Yeah.
You're an asshole. Yeah.
Yeah. But it was, I mean, I don't like using that little tool, but that was, you know, like, whoa, man, where did that come from?
Right.
So, yeah. So we had one mean ghost. I have a feeling that the docents there, we had 2 docents with us. Docents are the people, you have to have docents in some of these places. They just don't let you investigate these things all by yourself. And I kind of believe one of the spirits followed me home, because they say when the bad guy comes out, the other spirits don't come out. You don't hear from them. And ever since then, I've had a spirit in my house. I've got them recorded about 50 times now. And I have a feeling he might have hitchhiked home with me.
And he wants Hot Pockets.
He wants Hot Pockets. I'm not giving him, but the dogs like him. The dogs and him get along great. Yeah. I actually have.
I've never heard of dogs getting along with a ghost.
No, these guys like them.
I've never heard of a ghost.
Yeah.
But so I got a question. It's a personal question. Do you or have you smoked marijuana?
Once or twice.
All right. And you inhaled?
Maybe 1,000 times.
Okay.
I can't.
That's not going to have a reoccurring effect, though. You should try. Have you ever tried acid?
Well, I've never investigated on acid.
No, I didn't say that. I didn't say have you investigated it. Because that's something that at least can have an effect on you for years later.
Are you kidding me? Yeah. No. Of course I have. I am not afraid to admit to anything I've ever done in my life. As a matter of fact, I probably lived close to the house that you guys painted black. I lived in Haight-Ashbury back in those days.
Oh, right on.
Yeah.
See.
But this has nothing to do with my Haight-Ashbury days.
No.
No.
So I've got very extremely Christian family members who will tell you that every time you've encountered a spirit, that it was actually a demon who's just trying to fool you, and they're 100% sure that they're right and you're wrong, and they'll do the whole when you've seen the things I've seen, kind of
right. Demons it's a whole different world there, boy. We've been in one place. We investigated for the state of California for a park called the Columbia State Park, and we had to get permission from the state of California because it's a state park to investigate. And one of the hotels there that's haunted is called the Fallon Hotel, and it's a very haunted place. But there was one room that they said there's a demon in there. Well, I don't know. I don't know nothing about demons. I know nothing about those guys. I don't know nothing about Ouija boards, because you can bring up some weird stuff on a Ouija board that you can't communicate with. So when it comes down to it, we only investigate dead people. I know all about people. I'm a people person. I know all about them, dead or alive. I can communicate to them. I can't communicate to a demon. So we try to stay away from anybody who might think it might be a demon, even though I don't believe in the devil or that, but I do believe Ouija boards can bring up all kinds of weird stuff, and I don't want nothing to do with that. Huh. So demons.
Ouija board got me laid once.
The Ouija board got you laid once?
Oh yeah, I made her think something. Told her to fuck me. Hey, we gotta do what we gotta do, right? Shit.
Yeah, I got whatever it takes. Yeah. I guess. That's pretty hard.
Yeah. That's a way that you can interpret the ghost too, though. Did you hear what it said?
Yeah.
Suck my dick.
Yeah,
Quick.
Quick. Now, you're gonna die. Get out of here. But yeah, no, I don't. You know, I'm sorry to say this. I was a Jehovah's Witness for a long time, and I read the Bible 7 times, and I know it backwards and forwards, and I can tell you why it's what you're reading here is just stuff. And so when somebody says, you know, the devil's talking to you, it's like me. It's like telling me the sidewalk's talking to me. You know, it makes no sense.
I like the way you talk.
There is no devil, and actually, when you think about it, the devil is a beautiful person. If you go by the book,
most beautiful angel.
Yeah, he was one of the most. He was regarded as the most beautiful angel. They always got him with ears and tails and all this kind of crap. If you actually saw the devil in person, you'd probably fall in love with the guy.
Huh. The chicks do, believe me.
They do, yeah. They like the devil. I look like the devil, kind of, you know.
Yeah, you look. I'm looking at your picture, man. You look like a really interesting guy. You know.
Yeah, I kind of look like the devil, right? I think I'd be God's right hand man. God be going, hey Rick, what do you think about this? I'm going, you know, I don't think that's very cool.
You look like Uncle Rick. You know.
There you go.
Old Rick. Yeah. So Rick, how old are you? If you don't mind me asking.
68.
68.
68. Yep.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right.
Been around a little while.
You know
so
what?
Now, your show is just is it on your website, on YouTube?
Well, we started the show. I've had a couple of shows on our local access down here in Santa Cruz, and we started the Seaside Paranormal TV show. We had it for about 5 years, and then the show lost their funding, so we stopped doing the show. We actually stopped doing an investigation, and we went back to one of our original hotels that we investigated, which is called the Bayview Hotel, and we made a movie about our investigations. Only we tried to make a comedy out of it, and it turned out to be probably the #1 worst movie ever made, according to Amazon and all of our the replies or whatever. I think we won the award of being the worst movie ever made.
Nice.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
That's an accomplishment. I think that's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna do something, make it worse.
Yeah.
Don't be.
If you're gonna be the worst, be the best at being
the
worst.
best
Yeah.
worst. I agree with you, man. We're the best worst.
You're gonna be a sinner, be the best sinner on the block.
I'm usually like a liver worst.
A Liverpool worst.
Anyway, yeah. So I'm going through the videos here. You got one more that says "little girl playing." What might be that one?
Okay, now the little girl playing is at the Columbia State Park, and we investigated the City Hotel. That's where we got the little boy going, ooh, they closed the door. And then when we got done, they said, are you going to investigate the school? Well, across the street from the Columbia State Park, which is like an old frontier park, is a new modern school. And I said, why the hell would we want to investigate the school? And they said, not that school. That school. Pointed the other way, and we look, and here's this old school that had 2 rooms, one downstairs, one upstairs. And so we went, ooh, yeah. So we went and we got permission to go. We were actually the only ones that got to go inside the school because they have these doors. You just look inside there. It's like a monument or something. And so we went inside the school, and when we left one of our recorders on the windowsill. We forgot. And we came back home to Santa Cruz, and I went, oh, we're missing a recording. So they sent us back the recording from the school, and you can hear this little girl's voice out there at 3 o'clock in the morning. We figured it was right about 3 o'clock, because when we heard the recording, we could hear ourselves driving away. You can hear this little girl playing out in the schoolyard. Apparently, she must have gotten hit. I don't know. We don't know how she died, but she died in the schoolyard, and if you can play that, here she is.
Okay. Little girl playing.
One of the reports from the old schoolhouse is they hear kids playing outside. Well, there you go. And then again, another bang from the room.
Unfortunately, you don't hear it on that recording because I didn't turn the volume up.
I didn't hear anything you guys were saying. If you were saying anything.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Yeah, it's the wrong recording.
The wrong recording. You probably didn't hear the girl's voice, did you?
Yeah.
Oh, you did?
Oh, you did?
There's some high-pitched noises in there. It could have been two cats fucking, though.
Well, yeah, it could have been, but I didn't. Did anybody else hear it? I didn't hear it.
No.
Oh, I heard it loud and clear over here, but.
Yeah, that's too bad because I have a better recording of her. Anyway, you hear the little girl just back there laughing and playing and giggling.
Huh.
Yeah, at about 3 o'clock in the morning. And you don't hear anybody she's playing with giggling back. It's just her.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, my 2-year-old gets up at 3 o'clock in the morning fairly often.
Your little girl. Does she actually go down to the schoolhouse and start playing?
Well, I mean, I don't know. You know, I'm not always good at locking.
You're asleep. You don't know where the hell she's going. Yeah.
She's in the kitchen making flapjacks.
Where's my daughter at 3 o'clock in the morning? I don't know. I'm asleep.
Rick, you sound like a really interesting guy. You look like a real interesting guy. So if you're ever in Phoenix, you got to look me up over here. And if you're going to be doing any, investigations in Phoenix, I want to go along just to experience that.
For yourself, I would definitely invite you. No doubt about it.
Yeah. I'm a cheap date.
What about you flying out to L.A. and meeting me at the what the hell's the name of that boat? Queen Mary.
Is it out in the water?
I've actually slept in that boat before.
Have you did the investigation down there?
No, but they do have a list, and when you check into your room, they do have a list of which of their rooms are haunted. If you want the list.
Right. They have a private investigation, which I want to go down and do, and most of our investigators are so busy with music and broke that they can't afford it. I'm not flying everybody down there, but I'd love to go down and do the investigation of the Queen Mary.
Huh.
It's a beautiful boat, and by the way, they do have a badass tattoo convention there on the Queen Mary every year. So
Really?
Dorian's a tattooist.
They do.
Tattoo artist.
Oh, you're in the tattoos. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could definitely drive over there. I love the drive. It's only about a 4.5 5 hour drive. I think.
Well, why don't we try to let me try to contact the Queen Mary and see what's involved in doing a private investigation. The problem is when we did the investigation with the castle, and I own the Preston Castle, the little boy reformer school. We had to take 12 people with us. That's too many people.
Yeah.
You actually scare the spirits away. They don't want to come. There's too many people. When you go into some place and there's just a few of you, that's where you get most of your reaction. And so I want to talk to the Queen Mary and see if there's a way we can do a small group investigation.
Yeah. I've got a lot of video and sound recording equipment as well.
Do you really?
Yeah. But I got to tell you, I don't believe any of this crap. I really don't. I don't mean any offense over it. I just, I got to see it myself.
You remind me of this one guy. Okay, back to the Hornet. The Hornet is a battleship. I mean, it's a aircraft carrier in Oakland, and that's the one where we got the coins thrown at us. So there was 2 docents, and there was 1, 2, 3, 4 of us investigators on the ship. And when I was downstairs and the coins were being tossed at us, and so we got on the walkie-talkie, and I said, "Hey, you guys, you got to come down here. You're not going to believe what's going on." And I got a voice saying, I forget what the hell the guy is saying, but he was not supposed to be there. He was a caretaker of the ship. He was from the Army or whatever, had all this stuff. Anyway, one of the docents said, "Oh God, what's he doing here? He's in love with me, and he's not supposed to be on the ship." So we went upstairs. We said, "Okay, you guys, we've got all this stuff going on," and he's going, yeah, right, yeah, sure you do. I said, "Listen, I don't care what the hell you think, what you believe, nothing. You want to come with us, you come down with us, and just don't say nothing." So he came down with us. It was called the Boardwalk. I guess that's where everybody goes down and has their ice cream and stuff. And so we set the cameras up, and we took every piece of equipment we had and we focused it towards the back of this one room. And we took all the coins that were been thrown at us from the center of the room and we placed them on a bar in the back of the room, a metal bar. Mm-hmm. And we had all the cameras. pointed at us. Ping, 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 ping. And he gets up and he goes, all right, who did that? And I said, we're all sitting back here. Who the hell? Nobody did nothing. So we recorded him walking up to the bar, and he goes, oh, my God. And we went, what? There's a quarter missing. And he went from skeptic to saluting the wall. He's standing at the wall, saluting the wall, going, I am Captain so-and-so from the, and I'm here to protect your boat. And he went from a skeptic to 100% believer.
Huh.
From just that one thing, because he knew he put that quarter there, and it was now on the floor. And
so
it's on the floor about 20 feet away, not just down on the floor.
Yeah. So just between us, I mean, you guys are just chucking coins at him, right?
Yeah, we actually. I was an asshole. Trying to get a silver dollar. Yeah,
that's fine.
But
we gotta say thank you for being a good sport on the show, man.
Yeah,
we
totally.
Appreciate
no problem, man. I was having a good time.
Rick, I wanted to ask you. We asked this question of all our guests, Satanist or not. What does Satan mean to you?
Well, I guess he means to me like Santa Claus, the Easter Bunny, the big pumpkin in the sky. I don't worry about Satan at all. He's not one of the people I think about. He doesn't run my life. He has nothing to do with me.
That's a good answer for a muggle.
Yeah. A muggle. Awesome.
Hey, I'll be in Santa Cruz on Sunday.
Really?
I'll get beer if you're going to be around. I'll be at 99 bottles of beer.
Okay, well, if you're going to be down here on Sunday, come down to Capitola.
Oh, I love it there.
And come down to Paradise Beach Bar and Grill.
Okay.
Yeah, at about, what time are you going to be in town?
I get there Sunday morning. I'm going to stay the night and probably leave.
Oh, well, then you know what you want to do on Sunday? You want to come down to Capitola Wharf House and listen to live music.
Yeah. Okay.
There's a lot of locals there. You'll probably spot me by my hair.
All right, I'll buy you a beer.
Got it.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm. Rick asked for 2 beers.
Whatever he wants, man. I'll buy him.
You got it.
And he said you have to get him laid as well. You have to get him laid too.
Yeah. No. Actually, you can't do that because I'm just now starting to hook up with somebody. So,
what's his name? I'm kidding. Listen. Rick, you were fun, man.
Up first.
Really, really fun, man. We want to thank you for coming on. It was a great show.
Problem.
Great show.
One thing before we go, what's the best way for people to check out your show and your videos?
Well, they can go to Facebook and go to Seaside Paranormal, or they can go to YouTube and type Seaside Paranormal. The odd part about going to YouTube and typing Seaside Paranormal is you come up with a lot of different stuff.
Yeah.
It's hard to find me there, but we're there, and all of our shows are there.
All right.
Yeah.
Nice. Adam was telling me about the website earlier, and he was spelling it. It's M as in Michael T head HEAD.com, and he thought it meant meth head, but it's empty head.
We empty heads on boats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Nice.
All right, man. Till next time, everyone. Hail Satan.
Hail.